What's up, everybody? Welcome to Transition Tuesdays. For this Tuesday, August 6, 2019, I am your host, Russ Williams. I'm glad you could be here today. I realize you could have been anywhere in this world today. I know you could have been anywhere in this world today, but you decided to be here with me, and I appreciate that. And more importantly, I appreciate you. So welcome to Transition Tuesdays. We are coming live from Bobby V's in Stamford, Connecticut, sports bar. And I got two of my boys here, two of my brothers here on Transition Tuesdays. And I'm gonna bring these guys out the way they should be brought out. I got a little bio on these guys, a little insight on these guys. We got Nancy joining us today on Transition Tuesdays. So a little bit about my guests, my brothers here, my two special guests here. We're expecting another one to come too. We almost went off, guys. It's live though. But here it is. These two guys from Manhattan College. We have one guy here who is a Manhattan College Athletic Hall of Famer. And we got one guy here who's going to be there shortly. So I don't even worry about that. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk all about that. We also, this group, these two guys here, they make up the class of 1993. And that class is really important. That 93 class has two MAC regular season championships. They got one MAC tournament championship, and they got one tournament appearance in the NCAA tournament against Virginia. These two guys here all are members of the Manhattan College 50 greatest players in the school's history, 100-year history. That's my boy Kyrie is going somewhere. Okay, boy, get his stuff. Okay, cool. Go back in here, man. Cool. There we go. Cool. Yeah, you gotta do it right here, man. Also, guy coming up, he's going to be joining us shortly. But another guy we have here, we have an all-time steals list. He's on the all-time, he's the greatest steals person in Manhattan College's history. We got one guy here joining us.
Would that be me?
No, not yet. No.
I wasn't known for my
No. But these guys are 2/5 of the class of 1993. And that's one important thing about the class of 1993 is responsible for changing the culture of winning basketball at Manhattan College. So, Transition Army, I want you guys to help me welcome my Jasper brothers, Chris Smooth Williams and Carrie Wilson, to Transition Tuesdays. My brothers, how you doing today, man? You clap that up. Come on, man.
The audience didn't understand they should be clapping.
I know, but that's what we do. Hey, man, I'm excited to be with you guys. We're waiting for one other person here, to join us. But, I just want to pay homage to that class of 1993. And we're going to talk a lot about that. But nah, man, it's good seeing you, man. Kyrie Wilson.
It's good to be here, man. Good to see you.
There you go. Good to see you,
Glad
too.
to be with my brothers.
Absolutely, man.
No question.
Good
Thanks
to see you, too, Smooth.
Yeah,
man. Absolutely, man. So, yeah, man. Who we got joining us? We got Kevin joining us. We got John joining us. We got Buthero. We Geronimo joining us from Spain. See that?
My beautiful wife on
that. That's right. Leah's joining us. We got all these people joining us. Absolutely, yeah. Thank you, Smooth, for pointing that out. We really appreciate that. Yeah.
Nemo, I need a place to stay when I come out.
We'll see what we can do with that. But yeah, a couple of things, guys. I just want to bring these guys to the forefront of Manhattan College. I'm from Manhattan. I played at Manhattan College, and the significance of this class, the class of 1993. These guys really changed the dynamic of basketball at Manhattan College. If it wasn't for these guys, we got 2/5 of them. We need to mention Keith Bullock, right? Okay, Carrie Edwards, right, and we got Eric Gottlieb.
Yes.
Those guys make up the Jasper Five. Those were the guys. That was the Fab Five before Michigan.
All day.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so that's important. But like I always say, guys, life is full of moments. Moments that you have and moments these guys had on the basketball court. So I'm gonna share a couple of moments that about Chris's career and about Carrie's career. So I remember the moment for Chris, because again, it's all about moments. Chris had the game-winning layup against Rutgers in the NIT, second round of the NIT tournament.
His only right-hand layup.
I know, that's true. Yeah, I never saw Chris take a right-hand layup in practice.
His first right-hand layup.
I know, right? Yep.
In the history of Manhattan College.
Absolutely, yeah. So You know, he had that. He also had the game-winning free throw for these guys to go to the NCAA tournament. You know, so Chris, I know you were.
You left out his 3-point shot that gave us the lead.
Oh, he was big.
I got you, Smooth.
Thank you. That's why I'm glad you guys to enlighten us. Absolutely.
It was a big 3 off a nice assist from my boy.
Oh, okay.
Dribble drive action.
Okay, dribble drive. Okay.
Honestly,
Perfect basketball.
If you break down the play, it goes inside to Keith, comes back out. Wills gets into the lane,
Ball fake.
draws the defense. Nice ball fake.
Okay.
Gets the defender up. Gets me in that corner. I'm sitting there waiting.
Okay.
Pocket pass.
Okay.
Follow through. All net.
All net.
Money.
See, I didn't even know that. I didn't know the schematics on that.
Shout out to Coach Lapis.
Absolutely.
All those drills. Individual instructions.
We're going to go after Coach Lab. We're going to talk about him. So, so Smooth, about those winning plays, you know, talk to us, because I know you were a communications major.
Yes.
And the great thing about Chris, especially when he made that layup against Rutgers, I remember he was on TV. And I remember Chris talking about, hey, I'm happy for, for my teammates. I'm happy for the school. But more important, I'm happy for myself. I remember that like it was yesterday.
Well, you guys know the behind the scenes of that interview.
What's that? What you got?
My junior year, which was your senior year, really didn't have the year I was looking to have. And I was struggling, but you guys kept me in it. I started off the year as a starter.
Right.
Then I started coming off the bench, and that kind of hit my ego a little bit.
Okay.
But, again, I stuck with it, persevered. So that was a high moment for me. And ironically, here's another behind the scenes.
What you got?
After I made that basket, if you remember correctly, I ran straight off the court. Ran off the court. The first person who came to meet me was my man over here to my right.
Oh,
we sat down and spoke before anybody came. We had a great conversation. Wills, do you remember that conversation?
Some of it.
Well, before you
parts.
answer, we got your wife Nicole joining us today
What's
on
up,
Transition
Nick?
Tuesday. So I had to bring that out there. Thank you,
What's going
Nicole.
on, baby?
We got Donald Elliott joining us.
This guy has me on here under duress.
But
Hello, what's up, man?
Continue, Smooth.
But it's
Continue.
so much behind the scenes stuff that people aren't aware of and they don't understand. But after that shot, Wilson and I were the only two. Before we went into the locker room, he was like, Smooth, I'm so proud of you, man.
Okay.
That you took that upon yourself. But he and I had a lot of great conversations, just talking about our games and life and conversations.
Similar struggles.
Priceless.
Similar struggles.
Similar
Priceless,
struggles.
man.
Yeah.
So that's my boy, fellow lefty.
And it's funny too, Smooth. When you made that shot, I remember like it was yesterday. I took a terrible shot before that time. A terrible shot. I mean, almost hit the backboard. It was a bad shot. So I remember when you hit that shot.
Right.
I remember coming up to you and said, Smooth, thank you for bailing me out.
I got you off the hook.
That might have been all season long.
I had a feeling that was coming.
There you go. That's why I'm glad we got Wilson. Yeah,
Here's more insight.
What'd you get?
Wilson and I were the first two guards off the bench.
Yes.
Your senior year, 1992.
Yes.
We would have in-depth conversations about how you were playing, how Charles
Oh,
was playing.
jeez.
Yeah.
And Wilson came up with this observation.
What'd he say?
Russ would take the first shot of
Every
every game.
game.
Every game.
Every game, Russ takes the first shot. I didn't realize it.
Wow.
But again, Wilson's a student of the game, high basketball IQ.
Right.
He said, Smooth, watch
Watch
this.
Russ.
Russ is going to take the first shot of this game. And it worked to a T. You would take the first shot of every game.
I think I had a theory to that. I think it was like, you know what? I knew, I think for me.
Go ahead.
No, I think for me, I knew like, hey, look, I wasn't gonna be in here long, so if I made the first shot, I think I'm gonna
Try to
continue
get
to play.
rolling, yeah.
But if I missed it, shit, I know I'm gonna get that.
System
I'm gonna
to
get
it.
yanked really quick.
No.
So maybe that was my rationale thinking about it. But I didn't realize I took the first shot.
I'm gonna
for
share
every
something
game.
even
This guy would
further.
break it down.
I'm gonna share something even
Let's
further.
hear
What you got, Wilson?
Chris Williams.
Yes, sir.
Do you remember Lapis coming to visit you in Philly?
Oh.
And you were thinking about going, obviously, to the Philly school.
No question.
And he showed you a tape.
No question. Well, I said this during my Hall of Fame induction speech. When Coach Steve Lapis came to recruit me in Philadelphia, ironically, I thought when he came it was a waste of time. I'm a Philly kid. Philly kids go to Philly schools.
Right.
And I had verbal to LaSalle.
Okay.
But when he came into the living room, he brought videotape. And one of the videotapes was Kerry Wilson. And he says, Chris, at the time I wasn't smooth yet.
Okay.
Wouldn't you love to play with this guy? Wilson was all over the place, lefty, making shots, dunking, getting steals. And I'm like, this dude is nice. How the heck did we get How is he going to Manhattan? So he's going. if I team up with this dude here, this might be something special. So it definitely helped out in recruiting. So Steve Lapis did bring videotape of Kerry Wilson.
So hold that thought, Chris, because I'm going to ask you guys some questions specifically on that thought. So just hang on there. But no, okay. So you had those moments for Smooth. So let's talk about Kerry Wilson's moments. Let's talk about this guy's moments. This guy hits a half-court shot against Fordham for us to win the game in '92, my senior year. This guy has a follow-up dunk against LaSalle at Draddy.
Big time.
And again, I think Draddy Gymnasium shook, I think, when the guy had that dunk.
It moved on 2 occasions.
It moved, yeah.
That game and Wisconsin Green Bay.
Green Bay.
Eddie.
Yes.
Yeah, Eddie with the steal and the dunk. Yeah, I wish he was here to talk about that. But, yeah, and also another moment I got for Kerry Wilson is, I remember when you guys won the MAC championship, I remember seeing that picture of Kerry Wilson on the rim, waving the Manhattan College flag, stuff like that. So
had a lot of copycats out there.
I know you were the original.
A lot of copycats.
That's why I have to have the originators on there, So now, Wolves, talk to us first about that half-court shot against Fordham. Because I remember taking out the basketball, and I got you the basketball, so that was an assist for me personally. But talk to us a little about that play though, Wolves, because that play went viral when it wasn't viral time. I think it was the CNN Play of the Day, ESPN. You know what I mean?
Question about it.
Talk to us a little bit about that, Wolves. That half court shot for us to beat Fordham, our arch rival.
A little bit of coverage. It was a busted. I did not do what I was supposed to do, as usual.
That's usually the case.
As usual, right? Will Soft being a rebel, but actually the ball is supposed to go to Charlie Dubra. Rest in peace, bro. Miss you.
Yes, absolutely.
And I just happened to be in the right place at the right time, scooped up the ball and launched the shot. But the thing that sticks out to me is crazy. It's probably, like you say, one of my biggest plays, but that was probably the worst game I had at Manhattan College up to that point. I was having a horrible game.
I didn't play well.
Horrible game.
Yeah.
And ironically, though, my father went to Fordham. And it was always in my mental to beat them.
Right.
And up until that point, we never did.
Right, absolutely. Yeah.
But after that point, we didn't lose for like 5-6 straight years.
Yeah.
Didn't
So
your
it
father
turned.
just celebrate it? His birthday would have been maybe a couple of days ago. I remember seeing
Yeah,
it.
well, he passed away on the 6th.
Okay, I got you.
Excuse me. Born on the 6th, passed away. What's today?
The 6th, August 6th.
Today's
The 4th or 5th or whatever. I try not to remember the date, but you get these feelings when you get around that time. But,
Sure.
Yeah, so it was kind of important to me to beat Fordham. So when we finally did, that kind of meant a lot sentimentally.
Yeah, and the thing I remember about that play was, again, because I had the full length view of it when I inbounded to you, passed, and you made the shot. I remember you were running.
Everybody chasing me?
Yeah, and I caught you.
Right.
And I went backwards. I got crushed. And I remember saying, get off me. I was getting, claustrophobic. It was really bad for me. I was happy you made the shot. I was like, I might die at this point though, man. So
here's another true story. My wife would probably comment on this.
What you got?
My son, who was born at the time, was watching it with my mother.
Right.
And when he saw everybody piling on me, he was like, get off my daddy! Get off my daddy! He thought they was hurting me, so it was funny.
Now check this out.
Uh-huh.
Here's another behind the scenes deal with
What you got?
Kerry Wilson. Kerry Wilson is one of the best bad shot shooters ever. So you would expect a guy like him to make a shot like that. Now, am I right or wrong? He practices bad shots.
Pressure shots.
You want to call them pressure shots, but
Good in
those
the
are the type of
clutch.
shots you would expect him to make. He makes threes off the glass with his right hand.
Right.
He can throw underhand shots from. So when those type of shots go in for him, it's not crazy.
Good. Well, actually, I don't know if it was that year or the following year, but used to make a lot of those shots in practice.
Yes.
We used to practice the end of the game situation.
Yes.
And I don't know if it was before that shot or our senior year, but I had made like 2 or 3 shots like that in practice before that.
It wasn't strange to me.
Right.
Again, he's a very good bad shot shooter, and that's not a knock. You have some guys who are really good at taking bad shots.
Absolutely.
And in a situation situation like that, he's one of the guys I would love taking that last second shot. So
Yeah.
he did his thing.
Yeah.
He did his thing.
Nah, man. So I'm glad to have you guys here on Transition Tuesdays. We got a lot of people checking.
So we didn't
in
break down the other
close.
shots. I got
Oh yeah. Oh, we got more.
Yeah.
Pardon me, Smoke. Pardon me.
So
Hey.
I'm the voice of the Jaspers. I bring this
That's
stuff
true.
up all the time.
That's one thing I didn't
Listen,
mention. You are the
yes.
voice of the Jaspers.
Somebody better give me my credit sooner or later, man. Is anybody from the Hall of Fame committee out here? I got some issues with y'all.
you're gonna
Not
lie.
individually. I'm
You're
talking
gonna
team-wise.
You're
though.
gonna be on this.
All right, let's
Our
break
team
down.
should have been in.
Let's break down
That
the
dunk
secondary
against-
Our class should
jump.
have been
Yeah,
in.
let's break down that dunk
Let's break down
against
the dunk. Now
LaSalle.
you have to remember where he was on the block. He's the third guy up, if I remember correctly. Fourth guy up on the line.
Closest to the free throw shooter.
Closest to the free throw shooter.
Okay.
He's able to take one step in, springs up, times it perfectly, and dunks this basketball back in. Not many people can do
Nah.
that.
Did you spin off? Did you spin off that?
No, we
in the
didn't spin
lane.
off.
You
He
just
went
walked-
straight in.
Okay.
No one
So-
boxed him out.
Again, credit to Lapis. I faked like I was going this
Right.
way. Well, there's some history there too. 'cause
Okay.
History.
What you got?
Shout
History
out,
lesson.
shout out to Randy Woods from LaSalle.
I think he took the night off that night, if I remember
Nah,
correctly. He had a poor night.
He had a poor shooting night, and
What
he
was
was
that?
feeling
Was
kind
that
of
the
funky.
defense?
You guys were guarding him.
He was feeling kind of funky,
Right.
And it was a 1-and-1. So on the first shot, I ran hard around because keep ducks in. You're supposed to cut
Right, I
behind so you
remember
get the
that. Right, I
rebound.
remember that.
Right.
Randy bowled me straight in my throat. Elbow, like he didn't want to box out. When
Right.
he see me
I do-
going, he just
I
bowled me
remember
straight in
hearing
my
this. I
throat.
remember hearing this.
So he thought that again, second shot, like I wasn't coming.
Right.
Right.
So I was coming hard, expecting him to hit me like that. That's really what happened.
Gotcha.
I was like, yo, if he try that again, like I'm running through it.
Right.
And he didn't box me out. He thought I wasn't coming.
Right.
So when the ball came off, I was right there
Right there.
and just caught it.
For the dunk, yep.
But it was, shout out to Randy Woods, because if he didn't hit me, I probably wouldn't have came that
That's
hard
true.
down the middle.
Yeah.
Teddy Ellis.
I just was gonna
Nephew!
mention Teddy Ellis Jordan.
Yo, I miss you, man.
Oh, that's my
This
guy
is
there
big.
too.
See, bringing out this class.
Teddy
Now,
Ellis, I miss
now,
you,
you
man.
talk about our class. Our class was big in recruiting guys.
Facts.
Most of those guys stayed in our room. Teddy Ellis, when he came up on his
Right.
visit, my dude,
Right.
he's like, Smooth, we love your room. My parents love it. We coming back. And this dude was a problem too.
Oh,
Matha,
God.
One of the strongest
Oh,
defenders.
Jesus.
Hands like
Oh,
steel.
my God. Yeah, you really get by that
Strong
guy.
for no reason.
Hands
Just
like
because.
steel.
Just
Oh, my
because.
goodness.
Yeah.
And
And
Rookie Ellis.
And that's the importance. That's why I'm like really shining a light on the class of '93 because, again, your class set the tone for the program. The
Changed the
direction.
culture.
You changed the culture. Changed the culture of the program.
Made it fashionable to be a jazz.
That's right.
Again.
We're gonna go over that. Yeah, we're gonna definitely go over that. So yeah, man. Hey, so guys, we're here on Transition Tuesday, so we talk about transition. So if you guys can just share with me, talk to us about the transition to college life. Like, how was that? You guys coming, being young pups in high school, then you standouts in college. Like, how was that transition for you? Was it like
Let Wills
difficult?
go first. I got
Was
some
it
fun
easy?
things to talk about him.
Yeah. How was that transition for you, Smooth? I mean, Wills.
That's a tough one.
Okay.
Because I'm looking back now,
Uh-huh.
and I realized that I was a
Yes, Kendall joining us. Kendall's joining us here on Transition Tuesdays.
Geechee.
See, you bring
What's going on,
all these
Geechee?
people out. Wolves. I love it. Continue, man. Continue.
I was having a bunch of issues, dealing with a bunch of real life things,
Sure.
and what I'm finding out is because I didn't share it, and I probably should have, but I thought it would have. I was told it would have harmed me in certain ways, so I kept it to myself, and I didn't know how to deal with it. So I was lashing out and doing a bunch of things I probably shouldn't have been. So I apologize to everybody for that.
Sure, man. That's big.
Dealing with a lot of pressures, and I think that just college or basketball wise, like I was the big recruit coming from St. Joe's, like you said, showing Chris a video of me, etc.
Yeah.
So I had some pressure there.
Right.
That wasn't an issue, but you had an expectation that you was gonna like hit the ground running, and getting out there with the other grown men, the Kelly Monroes and
Yes,
Peter Runges
of the world, yeah.
and realizing that it wasn't gonna be as easy as you thought. You really had to work, and that's the great thing about our class is we all stayed together, we worked out. We developed our game. We talked about where we thought we were going to be from a very early stage. Like we had this vision of going out as champions,
Wow,
and
okay.
we kept everybody focused on getting to that point. So, study halls, working out, you know, keeping each other out of trouble. Having my brothers there, I think really helped me make it through that.
So it's kind of a difficult transition for you.
It was. I think it was probably a little bit more difficult for me than people realized or that I ever told anybody. So, you know, I'll just say that on Transition Tuesdays. It wasn't easy. But
I appreciate
we made it.
Yeah. What about you, Smooth? Was the transition to college like? Was that good transition? Was it a smooth transition?
Very similar to Kerry. Obviously, have a lot of respect for him because he came in young father.
Yeah.
And like you said, he had some different things going on. And
sure.
Didn't share initially.
Right.
But for me, I think
I was advised against it.
Right. But again, we were there for each other.
Yeah.
And I think these guys made it so much more easier for me, including yourself. But being in a room with guys who are so talented. Like again, Coach Lapis brings a videotape of Kerry to my home. And I'm watching this guy, I'm saying, this guy is really good. Then when I get here, Keith's a horse.
Right.
Eddie's a man-child.
Right.
Honestly, Big E was very good too.
That's right, yeah.
So I'm like, all these guys are really good, and I think I'm pretty good too. So I'm saying, we're going to really turn this out. We're going to turn this out. And Kerry brings up a great point. It takes a lot of work and effort.
Yeah.
You know, these older guys, they're there for a reason, but talent-wise, I knew we were better, but we had to work on some things we had to learn and understand.
And I got to give a credit to the OGs as well, because for me, if it wasn't Russ Williams, Charlie Dubra, Greg Rock, Kenny Boyer, like if I didn't feel welcomed like I did when I came to visit, there's no way I would have came to Manhattan College. You know, like Lap was dope and he recruited me heavy, and you know I felt an attachment to him. But you know, once I met you guys and saw how cool y'all were, that's what made it easy for me. You know, Greg Rock is the man. You know, that's the Godfather.
Yes, absolutely, man.
Him and Kenny Boyer and Dube coming all the way from Texas, being Lap's first big recruit. And again, so I had a lot of similarities with him because he was way away from home, from his family, etc. But if it wasn't for you guys, you know, we never probably would have ended up there. So big shout out to y'all.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you know, you guys been mentioning Coach Lapis a lot. And Coach Lapis is the common denominator for bringing you guys, for bringing this class together. You know, so here's the question I had to ask you guys.
Whiny boy. Shut up, Geechee.
And I never asked you guys this question, but here's the question. Like, what was Coach Lapis's sales pitch to get you guys to come to Manhattan? It had to be a sales pitch. So share with us. So Wolves, I know you're laughing. No, who want to go first? I want to know the sales pitch.
Mine is probably a little lengthier though. Well, you know, Lap's my guy.
Yes.
I love that guy to death.
Yes.
And you know, he's family forever. I'll give you a story. I remember, I want to say, it had to be the end of sophomore year. Summer camp at 5-Star. And I guess this is when Lap first gets the job at Manhattan. No, so that would have to be junior year, right? No, that's sophomore year because we signed junior year.
Right.
Okay. So we had 5-Star, and this guy is hollering at me like he's chasing me up to the cafeteria, and he has this notepad. He's like, "Hey, Wilson, I'm gonna get you." He said, "You're coming to my school." I'm like, "What school are you at?" I don't even know he got a job at Manhattan. And he writes out on the notepad, he's like, "I, Kerry Wilson, sign letter of intent to Manhattan College." And he asked me to, he said, "You might as well sign now because you know." Swear to God, like that was the first thing that,
crazy.
Like, who is this guy to make me research anything about Manhattan College?
Right.
You know, but
wow, that's crazy. That's a sales bitch.
He's a hawk, man. But again, I don't think it was that. It was, you know, Harriet. Right? Meeting the family and having an attachment to them. It was coming to the school and seeing Beg Lane and Leonard and the crew that he had. They just made you feel like it was something that you wanted to be a part of the family. And you know, also again personally, I knew I had to stay close to home,
right?
Because my mother and brother and my son, so I couldn't really go that far, and I wanted to have accessibility.
Sure.
You know, the reputation of Manhattan College. One selling point that I don't think Lapis told me, but I think Coach Montelli, my high school coach, enlightened me on was that the alumni base that Manhattan had in the tri-state area was one of the largest alumni bases in the country. Wow. So the opportunity for relationships and work, etc. You know, those were all things that kind of appealed to me. And then obviously playing in the Garden and you know, being a part of the Mecca. Like I remember on my recruitment visit, they brought me into Madison Square Garden and they did and now starting it up, man. Listen,
wait a second.
We'll tell some stories, man.
Where's Lap at?
Yeah, man. They brought me into the Garden and they did the whole Jesus Shuttlesworth thing.
Wow.
And now, starting at guard, 6'2", out of St. Joe, Harrisburg, Connecticut. Yeah, they did all that. I
can understand.
Wow.
That's
that is a sales hit.
Yeah.
So before you answer, Smooth, like for me, I mean, you know, I'm there at Manhattan, and you guys are coming. And Coach Slap used to put the fear of God in us because he was basically telling us, "Hey, look, these guys I got coming. Y'all need to, y'all need to step it up because the crew I got, the people I got coming, y'all gonna have to, shape up, or ship out. You know what I mean? So we knew this ahead of time, like before that, before you guys even arrived.
Playing some of the elbows, then Chris. That's when we got
I get mine. I was like, wait a second,
what I think they are.
But what about you, Smooth? What was your sales? What's Coach Lapis?
Well, again, I shared this during
that's great stuff.
The Hall of Fame induction. During that time period when Lapis came to my home, he showed me video of Carrie, just talked so highly of the school and the family atmosphere and just making me feel good. And he said, "We need you." When he said that stuck in my mind. Again, everybody's saying we want you, but he said, "We need you." And people just want to feel good. He made me feel good about myself. Obviously, during that time period, everybody recruits you and they want to tell you some good stuff. But he seemed so sincere. And when I came up and you guys were good dudes, I said, "This is where I belong. This is where I belong." And really quickly with Kerry Wilson.
Okay, what you got? What you got with Wilson?
I love Wilson. Again, I'm roommate with these guys.
That's right. He's got sweet mates.
Wilson loves St. Joe's. Shout out to the St. Joe's family.
The
cadets.
For the longest, it took Wilson to get off of the St. Joe's bandwagon, even though he wasn't quote unquote ever off, but to totally buy into us.
Because he used to wear that jacket. He used to wear the St. Joe's jacket. In which I surprised him one time. They playing cards. I don't know if you remember, Wilson. I had your jacket on, and I came in. I said, "What's going on?" And like Wilson chased me down the corridor.
He loved the St. Joe's family.
That's Jay Pride.
And you had to understand that to really get to know him well. And once
I'm a loyal guy.
Yes, very loyal to the core. Once you get into his loyalty circle, you in for good.
Absolutely.
And, it takes some time for that to happen, considering what he's been through. But once you establish that, man, that's your guy.
It's a wrap.
It's definitely a wrap. And
that's funny.
I think we really didn't get there until maybe midway through our freshman year. That's just my opinion. And once we got past that barrier,
we had to adjust to the regular, sharing a suite and getting used to everybody's ways and the customs. Because again, we had Eddie in there. We had a lot of strong personalities, man.
And speaking of that, now when you talk about us coming to Manhattan College, I think all of us have alpha male personalities. And all of us want to take that last shot. All of us want to be the person who you put the responsibility on. So when you go down the line and you talk about the different shots that all of us have made, it's not surprising. Because that's what we wanted. But it got to the stage where we understood where maybe you have to sacrifice for this person. Maybe this person needs to do, I don't know if Keith made any game-winning shots during the 4 years. I don't think. But he had huge games. But he
plays that put us in position.
But he understood, all right, if I would close this out, I have enough confidence that Wilson closed it. Eddie would close it, or Smooth would close it.
That trust factor
and
was
we
there.
all had love for each other. When I missed that first free throw, all these guys were like, Smooth got the second one. And when you have your back, these guys have your back and your teammates put that encouragement into you and you understand that, it's easy, man. It made it so much better for us. So it was a good look.
And I think the key from you guys at that class of 93 was you guys came from winning programs. So you guys are winners. You didn't come in as a recruit I'm coming from a situation I was the man, we weren't winning, but you guys were coming from winning programs, and that was a good thing that Coach Slap instilled. I think, trying to create that winning culture that you guys created through winners in high school and bringing that to here to Manhattan. So
I'll give you something else as well. because we had the Connecticut connection as well between me, Keith, and Kerry.
Correct.
Right. That's right.
And we all used to play against each other. You know,
And
Keith and I in the same
these
league.
stories.
So you guys knew each other before you got to Manhattan.
So I knew of Kerry. Kerry was in Bristol.
Right.
Keith and I competed against each other. He went to Notre Dame, West Haven.
Right.
And so again, that's another adjustment, right? When we finally all get together. But Kerry and I used to get each other's recruitment mail because they would get us mixed up. They would send Kerry Wilson, St. Paul's, and Kerry Edwards, St. Joe's. They would get it mixed up.
Right.
And so like, I remember us bumping into each other, and they'd be like, "Yo, I got a letter for you from such and such." And he'd be like, "Yo, I got like 5 letters for you."
Right.
And we used to joke around about that. But yeah, that Connecticut connection, that's another, credit to Lapis that he was able to pull that off, bring, guys that competed against each other together to form what we formed. So
that is big. Yep.
And these guys would talk about these games.
Oh, we had some
all
monster
the time.
games,
Okay.
man.
Against each other.
Here's another behind the scenes story.
What you got? Before you say that, well, we got Raymond Davis says, "What's up, fellas? Thanks for the memory." So
What's going on?
Yeah, man. Cool.
How you doing?
Yep.
But check this out. Again, Wills and Big Bull played against each other twice per year.
Minimum twice a year.
So they would have videotapes that they would sit in there and watch.
Oh,
now Eddie's from Bristol.
Right.
I don't know all the details, but I think Bristol's a little bit further
outskirts?
Yeah, well, it's further up. They were in a whole different conference.
But I'm not sure if the
division.
competition that Eddie played against was maybe at the level of their competition.
Okay.
So Eddie would get busy.
Okay.
Now Eddie's good now.
Yes.
He can flat out play.
Yes.
But these guys would get on Eddie about playing against chumps and getting his 50 or 40, and Eddie would get so heated. Eddie would get so heated, man. But the conversations in that room were priceless, man.
Nah, he put it work.
But no,
work.
Eddie and Wilson, in my opinion, top 5 athletes I've ever played with.
No doubt.
Both guys dunk a basketball with 2 hands backwards, barefoot.
Oh,
that's Eddie. Barefoot.
Eddie barefoot.
You could if you had
I
to.
was a witness to that. I saw him.
Eddie did it barefoot when he was hurt.
Yes.
He was out with his back injury.
Yes.
Walking through the gym.
Yes.
And barefoot, stepped on the court, dunked it with 2 hands.
Yep. I've never seen anything like that.
But both of these guys, super athletes.
Yes.
And you talk about coming into the conference.
Don't discredit yourself, fool. You're a great
Absolutely.
athlete as
Not
well.
bad, not bad. I give myself a little bit of credit. But those 2 top 5 in my opinion.
Yeah.
Now, Will's coming in, like he said, I thought there was a lot of pressure on this young man. Again, I think all the magazines pretty much had him picked as the rookie of the year, incoming rookie. And, he wants to show and prove, but understanding the system.
Yeah.
And I give Will so much credit. He's the one guy who assisted me on how to watch film. Tremendous basketball IQ.
Wow,
he and I sat together cubicles right next to each other, watching film, and he would break down certain guys for me.
Tendencies,
It
all
was
that.
like, Smooth, what are you watching? Like, Smooth, when he does this, you can pick him if he does that. And I wasn't a huge film guy. Coming from my high school, the biggest thing we did was make him go left or make him go right. So if he's left-handed, make him go right. If he's right-handed, make him go left. But Wilson was breaking down certain guys. Now, this is how close Wilson Lapp were. Now, Lapp was big on footage.
Yes.
So we watched the same video over and over.
Oh, I know what
His IQ was so high, it's like, why are we watching this again? We've seen it
film room
4 times already. Enough is enough. And Lapp would turn it off.
Turn it off.
And Lapp would turn it off because of his son over there, Kerry Wilson.
Oh, my God.
This guy was the best, man.
I was a spokesman for the team. I said what everybody else was scared to say.
This guy was
Bernie Mac of the Jaspers.
We've been practicing too hard. Can we get a day off, man?
Yeah, we get a day off.
You're going to burn us out.
That's
Lapp would think about it, and we would get a day off.
And then we get a day off. Compliments to Mr. Wilson.
And I still ain't got no thank yous.
we thank you, Wilson.
Who runs this Hall of Fame stuff, man?
We're gonna get into that, man.
Play.
So we got Kendall says, hey man, he says you guys better give a shout out to my brother.
No doubt.
Already done.
We already did that, man. Come on, man.
Let's get into Chuck real quick.
Come on,
the
man.
first thing out my mouth is a shout out to Charlie.
Absolutely, yes.
Stop playing.
That's right, sir. Yeah, so
Chuck, again, I talked about Wilson with the high basketball IQ. Chuck, same area. One thing I loved about Chuck, always encouraging.
Right.
The one thing I remember, anytime I checked in for Chuck, He comes straight to me with his towel or his shirt.
Yep.
Smooth, protect the ball. Every single time, same exact words. He has a towel or a shooting shirt, comes straight to me. Smooth, protect the ball.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Protect the ball
That
every
is funny.
single time.
That's funny. I had a ritual with Charles too. Like, you know, we were captains of the team. We fortunate to be captains of the team. We used to go for the captain's huddle. And then we talked to the referees and everything.
Right.
Like clockwork, he always hit me in the back of my head. And I always hit him in the back of the head. We did that every single time. And we knew we was ready, you know, when we did that. So, yeah, man, shout out to, rest in peace to Charles.
I mentioned, you know, we obviously going to, shout out him and, and
doubt.
Greg Rock.
Yes,
Rock
yes,
is
Greg
my
Rock,
man.
too.
And
Yes,
again,
sir.
just on the same mode, one of the things that I think made Manhattan special was everybody was humble and everybody sacrificed.
Right.
I don't know if it was to the level that, maybe Chris and I sacrificed in our class.
Sure.
But I remember Greg being unguardable in practice.
Oh, my God.
You know what I'm saying? Talentine, New York.
And like if you said they were LaSalle or Siena.
Oh, my God.
I know. It was they got the green light.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? To be Mark Brown or Draymond or Randy Woods and Lionel.
Yep.
But I remember Greg used to come down and he used to say BDSDSGG.
What is that?
What's that?
Big Daddy, Sweet Daddy, Strictly Glass G. And he used to come down in your face, say that, do the Piggly Wiggly, and pull up and shoot it off glass, and there was nothing you could do.
Oh,
he would come through the lane. He was like stronger than Teddy Ellis.
Yes.
But he would come through the lane and take the and one, like,
Yeah, he was
unguardable.
Unguardable.
Kenny Boyer pulling up when he used to play Randy.
KB
you know what I'm
was
saying?
tough,
too.
Couldn't guard him in practice, but that's what made us tougher.
That what made us toughest. The practice.
Well, same thing.
Yeah,
like
man.
we man, the humbleness, man. Everybody sacrificed to make sure that the team was first.
That's true. And
Well, sacrifice is big. Just to stick on that really quick.
We got Tom Corrigan.
What's up,
Mr.
Tom?
C
TC.
joining.
Tom
Yes,
was
sir.
tough. Tommy Boys.
man.
Yes.
Tom was tough.
Absolutely.
When you talk about sacrifice, and I've said this on many occasions on the air when I'm doing the Jasper broadcast, my personal opinion, I think Kerry and I probably sacrificed the most as far as using our God-given talents.
Yeah.
Now, if you look at how both of us played, we probably would fit in very well at a Siena or a side with that up and down pace, up tempo. But coming to the
Damn it, Lapis.
I know. Why wouldn't you have that up tempo, man?
I didn't win that argument at all.
Coming to Manhattan, where you got to get
old
that
Marymount UNLV running Rebels.
Now,
She was like, we don't got the horses for that, Roots.
Oh, you had a conversation on that.
Man, listen, I done talked with Lap about everything. man.
Right.
Listen,
Everything.
man, we both. Well, let me speak for myself. I struggled with that on occasion, and one of the things I definitely had a tough time with initially was 17.
The shot clock.
God, man, like it was 17.
Come on, Smooth.
17
Run
is at the
17.
end of the shot clock. When the shot clock is going on, you got to slow it down.
Yeah.
I just want to run.
Yeah.
I want to get up and down. So, again, I thought both of us had to buy into that, and it was very difficult. And but it worked out.
And
It
you
worked out
know
very
what's
well.
funny about sacrifice and buying? And I remember like it was yesterday. I remember my senior year, Coach Lap brings me in the office, and he goes, Russ. He says, you can score the basketball, but what we need you to do is to get in the lane more, create for others, get everybody, play more better defense.
Right.
And like me, my mindset was I'm trying to score.
buckets.
I wasn't getting defense wasn't my thing. I bought into it. Matter of fact, I named myself the Ward, and I
named yourself.
Yeah, I named myself. That's not a good look when you name yourself. Especially when you get torched. But I remember, sacrifice it. And when I left that office, I was like, come on, coach, you can't do this. This is my senior year. You coming to me with this. But then I got a chance to really sit down and think about it. Here's this coach is coming to me saying like, you can really make our team that much better by doing this. So I bought in. So like you guys, not on the extreme like how you guys did, but you got to buy in, you got to sacrifice.
But if you guys didn't, we wasn't. Like again, it's the progression.
Yeah.
So if you don't do it then, how do we do it later?
That's true.
All
You know what
the
I'm saying?
teams
I
have
understand.
a
All the
couple
way
guys
through.
who've sacrificed at
Yes,
some point
yes.
to get to that next level.
And
Yeah.
I'm gonna get a crazy shout out.
What you got? Man?
Who's this?
Probably one guy that didn't want to buy in either.
Okay.
Kelly Monroe.
Kelly Monroe.
Kelly
He didn't buy
Monroe.
it.
Shout out to Kelly Monroe.
Money Monroe.
Damn it, Lapis!
We learned a lot. We learned. Talk about learning.
That was
Yeah,
early
you
on.
learned a lot.
Early on.
You had to go through these things,
Yeah,
man.
you
had
really
to go through
did.
these things.
You really did.
Shout
It's a
out
great life
another-
skill.
Another Connecticution.
That's right.
Yeah.
You
Waterbury,
know what I'm
right?
saying? Yeah, dirty water.
Yep.
Kel was a beast too, man.
No doubt.
Kel was a beast.
And you guys mentioned we talked about practices, right? And like, you know, for everybody out there watching, we had great practice. We had competitive practices.
Right.
And like those competitive practices made the games easy. That's how it was for me. If you got through the practices, Coach Lapis, practices, you're gonna have a great game regardless. It was easy. So what are some of the memorable moments you guys remember for practice? I got one story about Chris.
Too many.
Yeah.
Well, talking about the toughness though.
Yep.
Do you remember when Pete Runge lost his tooth?
No.
Smooth. So Dave Burnsley. So
Okay.
remember we used to do the drill where there's no fouls and there's no out of bounds.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Combat drill, I think
yeah,
it's called.
well,
Three
I don't know
people
the
in
name
it.
of. Well, no, that was the rebounding drill. The
Okay.
three, you throw the ball up, and
Okay.
it don't matter if you're going, but you got to get 3 points before anybody
Right.
else.
Right.
But now we was having a 5-on-5 drill, and there was no fouls, and Dave Burnsley got a rebound. You know how big Dave was.
Sure.
Shout out to Rhode Island,
Yes,
Dave Burnsley.
That's right,
was
Dave Burnsley.
trying to protect the ball because you couldn't get no fouls, and he was swinging his arms, and Pete Runs was trying to run back on D because you had to sprint back when
Right.
the other team got the rebound,
Uh-huh.
and Pete ran right into his elbow and kept running, and Dave went to throw the ball, he couldn't because his tooth was stuck in his elbow.
Oh, that's
And
right.
he
Okay.
peeled his tooth out of his elbow.
Right.
And then obviously, Smooth and Charlie Dubra diving for a loose ball again. Smooth had a few times where he did what he was supposed to do, right hand layup. And this was probably the first and last time Smooth ever dove on the floor for a loose ball. But when he went to dive on the floor, Charles dived on top of him, and his face hit the floor. And guys lost fronts. That's how physical the practice was. So
Right.
yeah, the games was easier.
Yeah, the game's definitely easy.
But again, Lap made sure that toughness was in us.
Absolutely, yeah. So we were prepared, we were ready, and for me, I remember we used to have people watch the practices sometimes, people going from class and stuff like that. For me, when I found I had an audience, I kind of amped it up a little bit more in practice for me. I mean, but I don't know. But
That's how.
yeah. But
Sometimes the game.
yeah, that's true too.
Well,
It
check
was
this
a ton
out.
of
Speaking
stories.
of changing the culture,
Okay.
I remember when we first got there, a lot of just regular students would come up and challenge, you guys aren't that good.
Wow.
I guess maybe because we
Right.
weren't that good.
Sure, we weren't. Absolutely. This is true.
Intramural
They had
type
a shot, yeah.
Intramural type cats would try to step to you.
Yeah.
And I just remember, you said how guys would walk to the gym and watch us practice.
Right.
I remember at the end of the year, we would be allowed to play with the intramurals.
Intramurals?
Oh, you call it 6-on-6, one of us could play on one of those teams.
Yes.
I would try to destroy all those cats who would say something about us not being as good.
Right.
I remember one time I had 60 in one of those games. Remember we used to videotape it? But again, the culture changed.
Sure.
Because
Yeah.
those same guys would be like, oh,
That didn't-
guys
that
are so
didn't
much
happen
better
for
now.
long. That didn't happen
These
for
guys
long.
are really good. So
That's right, yeah.
it was a lot of things that were changed and very subtle.
Yeah.
Very subtle.
And speaking of practice, I wish Keith Bullock was here, but Keith Bullock was probably the worst practice player. I remember Keith, he'll catch the ball in the post and miss it. Look at his hands. But the one thing about Bull was
He's a
in
gamer.
the game when the lights came on, this guy was a different guy. I was like,
He's a
yo, that's
gamer.
the same guy who was missing passes and stepping out of bounds. It was just a
Fadeaway
crazy
jumpers.
thing. Yeah. You know how we talk
Basket.
about some people are great practice players.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Throw them in the game, it's totally different. But so practice was pretty memorable, and I want to bring up one practice Smooth.
Let's hear it.
I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. And
What
we'll
did I
talk if
do?
you remember. Do you remember the time? Remember when Spreewell had that incident when he
Shit.
choked the
Of course.
Carlissimo? Do you remember when
I-
Chris?
I think this is
choked,
exaggerated.
On Big Lane?
James Knight.
James Knight.
He choked James Knight. So,
Jimmy
would you like to
Fowler.
respond to that? I mean,
mean,
I know everything practice was amped up. You know what I mean? But
Well, we talked about toughness earlier.
yes,
I believe this
You showed
story,
it that day.
This story has been exaggerated
what?
on different occasions.
Don't downplay.
No,
it.
come on, Chris.
Do it.
One time
Anybody
you gotta-
who plays
Yes.
competitively understands that you get tested once in a while.
Yes.
And
Coach
I
Lap was
just
notorious for that too.
I just
He amped it up.
responded, and I apologize Nightingale's my teammate.
Yep.
Did I hit him?
No,
you choked him. You got around his neck.
I can't remember.
I Philly Strangler.
That's what happened. Again, my Philly side was coming to the forefront, but it's all
everybody knows in those environments that competitiveness. Like there's a ton of fights that went.
Yeah,
oh, no doubt about it.
That was just a very memorable one.
Yes,
that was a very memorable one.
Yeah, man, oh man. So, hey, now that I got you guys, and again, we what I'm doing here today, man, I'm celebrating the class of 1993 for you guys. I'm glad. It's always good to get together and talk about these things. Give you guys the flowers when you can still smell it. That's how I look at it. You know what I mean?
Gotta do that more as people.
Absolutely, definitely got to do that. So, what were you guys' feelings on winning the first MAC championship at Manhattan College? Like, was it for you guys? Was it like a feeling of like relief? Or was it like exhilaration? Like what was your feelings on winning that first one, man, from Manhattan College history?
I'll let Wills go first.
How was it for you, Wills?
Again, for me, with personally and then as a team, it was validation.
Okay.
For all that I had dealt with and gone through, and again we're sharing. So
sure.
I actually had left the team my senior year, similar to your story. So now you sacrifice for the first 3 years.
Yeah.
Like when Eddie got hurt, I started.
Yeah.
Then when Eddie came back, somehow I wasn't able to get my position that I had worked for, right? Because I was too small really to play the position that they had me at when Eddie got hurt. Right. And they thought I was better. Lapis thought I was better coming off the bench. So now I'm figuring senior year, I've made all of these sacrifices. Now it's my time to shine.
Yes.
Lapis gets the job, and as soon as the job was announced, again, I don't know if you guys noticed, but like I left class and went to Lapis's office.
Really?
And I had a conversation with him for an hour and a half because I knew he was going to get the job. So it wasn't even offered to him.
You're letting them know Coach Lapis received a new job at Villanova.
Received a job at Villanova, right.
Okay.
But when the job was announced that Rolly was leaving, this is the day it happened.
You had an idea to say
Lapis
that.
wasn't even like the top 5.
All right. Wow.
But I'm like, yo,
But
he's
he
going to get
lobbied
the job.
for it.
And he didn't even think it was going to get offered to him when I talked to him.
Okay.
But
He's
he
like,
lobbied for it.
oh, well, it's his dream job.
Yeah.
Of course,
Yeah,
he went after it.
Yeah.
Right? So then Fran comes in, and I'm not going to talk about Fran. Some feelings there that's not appropriate for Transition Tuesdays.
Understood.
But he calls me into the office, and again, shout out to Brenton Birmingham because dude was a beast.
Sweet, yeah.
Birmingham for 3. Got it.
Yeah. But my feeling was we had been there, and if I was in a position where I was competing for a position, I thought I should have known that while we were practicing, but that was never a conversation that we had. So he calls me in like before the first game, and he's like, "We're gonna start sweets." And I felt some type of way about it, and I left. I went back home, like I was chilling. Yeah, like Keith, Chris, the fellas was calling me, and it was like, "Yo, we need you. You got to come back."
Yeah.
And I wasn't gonna come back. I really was gonna be done with basketball. I was just gonna graduate.
Right.
But because of all the stuff we had been through, because of my brothers and the family, again, I sacrificed, I took a hit, I humbled myself, and I was like, I'm going to come back for the team. And again, our coach used to tell us stuff, and then we used to do stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because we knew what we needed to do in order to win.
Yeah.
So when we finally won, it was validation of everything that we had been through.
Yeah.
Right? It was confirmation of the purpose and reason why we went to Manhattan College.
Absolutely.
As a group.
Mission accomplished.
Mission accomplished.
Right.
Like all the people that doubted us, like we came in, and if it was 310 Division I schools, we was like ranked 301.
Yep.
When we left, we was ranked 30th in the country. It was validation, confirmation. So when I get up on top of the rim and I'm waving that flag, that's what that represents. Again, us and then me personally.
Sure.
Like I made it. We made it
Right.
to exactly where we said we were going to be.
Because you guys used to have the
We
conversations.
used to have a conversation. And I think I used to say, like, when we win, like, I'm going to do something that I've never seen anybody do. So that's why I got up on the rim and grabbed that flag. So, yeah, that's what it represented to
It's
me.
ironic
That's big,
that
man.
Wills brings up him leaving because I've never spoken about this publicly.
Okay.
And for him to share that, a lot of emotions start to come up.
Yeah.
And because during that time period, he did lead the team. And a lot of people
out.
have no idea
I was
that he
out.
wasn't on the team for a long stretch of period. And Keith and I were the captains.
Right.
And we went into Coach Fran's office and said, we can't go any further without our brother. Because it hurt us so bad to come back to the room after practice and see Kerry in the dorm, in the room, and you know he wasn't really himself.
Sure. Right.
And that's our guy. Mm-hmm. And you know, we had to go to bat for him. Mm-hmm. It's like, listen, man, we got to do something. You know, I know you want to set the stage as a new coach, put your foot down, have your rules, but that's our dude. We got to figure out a way to get him back on this team, and you got to tell media, whoever, he's back on this team somehow.
So you lobbied for your brother?
Of course.
We
had a long, hard discussion in the office. Keith, I wish Keith was here.
Yeah.
So and he was like, he has to be.
What's up, sis?
He has to
Heidi, love you, miss you. We got to get out on the golf course, y'all.
But
coming down to Maryland.
Yeah.
That's a big sacrifice. Again, like he said, because our thought process is coming into something, and then it's changed during.
Yeah.
It's a big hit.
Yeah.
And we knew what we had too.
Right.
Like we knew we should have won it our junior year.
Yeah,
You know, David Burnsley got fired. We're not gonna get into all of that, but like we
And
knew
now,
coming
hold it.
back.
Yeah.
Russ recently watched the tape in Florida with me.
I
He had
recently
never
watched
watched
I
it.
haven't
Never
watched
seen
it.
it?
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, that was Charles Smith against the
Now
Bulls.
check this
Man.
out.
He got hacked.
He got fouled on the last play, but previously,
Before that,
we were called on 2 turnovers. Remember,
Yeah.
Over and back.
Yeah.
Right.
He never went back.
I never
over.
went
Listen,
back.
I get it.
He didn't go back.
It was
Never.
the South League before that, man.
Yeah.
Listen.
But it's so blatant when you watch the video.
Yeah.
But you know, again, you can't get to where we got without going through that.
Yeah,
So like,
correct.
so imagine
Yes.
if that didn't happen,
Yeah.
you don't got the Rutgers shot.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We don't got the Wisconsin
Right.
Green Bay.
Yeah.
It was a building block.
Yeah, it was.
Right.
That's what shaped us
Yeah.
for the senior year stuff.
Yeah.
So while it feels a certain type of way,
it hurts.
I'm sort of glad we went through it because
Yeah.
again, we got the validation in the end.
Well, just to
Absolutely.
answer
I'm
the
gonna give
question,
you-
I didn't answer the question. I expected
Yeah,
us
your
to
feelings.
win in 1993.
Yeah.
I came into the season with high expectations.
Yeah.
Like Kerry just said, 92 we felt we should have won.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So we came into this year.
I think
listen,
that was our best team. 92.
honestly, and I've told people that on different occasions.
I think
the
that's the
92
best Jasper
team
team.
would beat the 93 team.
yeah.
I think it would beat all the teams that came after us, even the team that went to the
As
tournament and won.
voice of the Jaspers, I think that's stretching it because I think the Louis Flores team is tough. I think those
Flores
guys
is a
are big.
beast.
We would have had something.
Yeah,
Oh, no.
Flores is a beast.
In a round robin,
Yeah.
I would love to see 92, 93, Flores second team. I'd like to see
Jamal Marshall.
Jamal Marshall 1995. That team
Shout out
was
to
very
Jamal.
good also.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
Darryl, yeah.
throw in George Beeman, Alvarado, that crew.
Okay.
There. They
Yeah,
might
yeah,
be the 5th team in that top 5.
That's
But
a
I would
great
love to see
conversation,
all-
though.
Oh,
But
that's a conversation.
yeah,
We'll never know.
And when we have a bigger Jasper reunion, we need to conversate on
I
that.
like to see those teams in a round robin.
I'm
What
gonna
happened.
go back a little bit. And again, it's just because tying everything in. Like I remember sitting with Charlie Dubrow,
Okay.
and Dubrow was in the league
Oh,
in the beginning,
and
my
I got
freshman year.
I got a funny story about
You know what
that.
I'm saying?
too. Yes, so he
And
was
again,
he's gone.
But if Dubrow didn't stay, then Chris and Carey probably don't. It starts a ripple.
Yeah,
Right. But
that's
because Dube went through what he went through, how could I not go through it and see it to the finish line?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like,
Yeah.
there's guys that humbled and sacrificed themselves to put us in that position, which in turn made us do the same thing. So shout out to them.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's so true.
And that, if Dube doesn't, Geechee, if Dube doesn't get his turntables, if Dube doesn't get his music, he probably would have left Manhattan College.
He would have jetted.
Because once he got his music,
Yeah.
as a matter of fact, it was a care package. So it was the music in there, and Geechee, it was videotape of Black Belt Jones. 'Cause we sat and watched it in his room. We watched Black Belt Jones, and we watched Chuck Turner. We watched Chuck Turner. And if we didn't sit in there with Dube and had that experience with him DJing and watching the movies,
Wow,
we probably
that's
would have left.
crazy.
And it's funny with Charles Dubrow too. I remember he introduced me to NWA. Like he had that Straight Outta Compton on vinyl, and I was like, "Yo, who is this?" He said, "You don't got NWA?" I said, "No,
stop
who is
it.
this?"
Yeah.
You know. He was the guy, man. Yeah.
But going into that 93 season, expectations were high.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, most of the publications had us pick 1 or 2.
Absolutely. And matter of fact, I could have coached your guys.
You know what? I know I heard a lot of people say I heard a lot of people say that, but the one thing you don't realize, like we were talking about a lot of behind the scenes stuff. You know, getting Big Wolfs back on the team.
Yes.
You know, we had different situations where Eddie was like, "Listen, I haven't done enough. Right. You know, I want to score. I want to." So you got to make sure everybody's happy, and I think that's the area where I matured a lot, and it has a lot to do with Charles.
Yeah.
Where I take a step back and say, because most of my mindset was, I can beat my man. Yeah. I want to score. So I got to get Will some shots. I got to get Eddie some shots. You got to get Keith some shots. Lord Jamal got to get some looks too. Yeah. So you got a lot of cats
coming.
Birmingham got to get some looks.
On deck.
Now here's a big one. Now Will's touched on it earlier. Birmingham's a beast, but again, he doesn't want to step on his toes.
That's right. Yeah.
So I got to make sure this guy's at his best. Like, yo, don't hold back.
Yeah.
You got to give me everything. I'm going to get him going too.
Right.
But give me what you got.
Right.
So all those things are in the equation. So,
a lot of dynamics.
Yeah. So I think we did a great job. Give Coach Fran some credit. I know Will would have leave some things that don't need to be said on Transition Tuesday, but he did the best he could coming into a situation where he had a set crew.
Yeah. The guy got lucky.
He had a set crew.
I ain't going to say nothing else. The guy got lucky.
All I'm going to say is, Coach Fran, where's my cut of the $50,000 that you got for the place after making the free throw? We'll leave it right there.
It's a lot to be a lot of untold stuff.
Talking about transitioning to playing players. That's another.
It was a good time, man. A good time.
It was definitely some schools that tried
I was
to do
expecting us to win in '93.
Yes.
And give a shout out to Niagara because they were tough.
Yeah,
absolutely. It was a tough matchup for us.
Absolutely.
And we were able to beat them that second.
Mission accomplished. Yep. Mission accomplished.
Mission accomplished.
Yep. Can't never take it away from them.
That's true. Now, do you guys have any regrets about your Jasper playing career? Any regrets at all? Because I have one regret.
Stay to the Jasper. Let's go first.
For me, my regret is not winning a MAC championship. Again, it took me over 20 plus years to watch that video. That's how much it hurts. Right. You know what I mean? So that's one of the regrets for me, man. I tell people all the time, you know, I would trade in scoring 1,000 points, being the top 50 greatest player in school's history, Hall of Fame member. I would trade all of that in to make the NCAA tournament. Gotcha. That's how I feel. So that's a regret for mine. So, but do you have any regrets about your playing career at Manhattan?
Yeah, and again, I had a lot of stuff going on, but I think I let that impact me too much, and I let a lot of negativity prevent me from probably going as hard as I knew I was capable of going. Not that it was easy, but like I knew I was gonna play. You know what I'm saying? And like there were times, especially like there were some situations that happened, but like my junior year, I rebelled tremendously. And so like if I didn't want to practice, I didn't practice. And like I remember Smooth, like we used to joke about that, like why is Will able to, you know, and
that's true. Yeah,
listen, I was an idiot, man, because like I wish I didn't let whatever was going on impact me that way, because it probably would have made us and me, you know, 10 times better.
Yeah.
But that's a regret that I have for sure.
Yeah, and you were young too, man. I mean, you know,
and I had a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff to take in. You know what I mean? So you handled the best way you thought.
When I write my book, y'all got books, right? When I write my book, you know, people will have some clarity. They'll be like, "Damn, he did all of that, and he was dealing with yada yada yada."
There you go.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Okay. Well, in hindsight, with that being said, I think we were in the best setting with us to handle that.
Absolutely. If it wasn't for you guys, man, I would have, if I didn't have my brothers, if I didn't have the people around me, Lapis, and because like again, Lap and I used to talk about real life stuff. You know, we didn't always agree, but he was there. And so like he was an extension of Vito.
Right.
Yes.
Like, that's what I love about St. Joe's and Vito.
Right.
You know, there's people that came along in my life, particularly men that came along in my life because I lost my father when I was young. That if they weren't influential, positively influential the way that they were, like I would have ran off the rails. I really would have.
Right.
So I give a shout out to them. And you know, Lap knows we used to sit in his office and just talk about the weirdest things, but he gave me that space to be able to get it off my chest, or at least communicate.
That's big. That's major.
And again, I should have did more of that with everybody else, but I was getting weird advice. Is all I'll say. I was getting bad advice, but you know, that's definitely something that I appreciate about that experience. Lap is my guy.
Yeah,
love
I can
him.
hear that.
How about you, Swain? Any regrets, man?
You know, the only regret, and it's not necessarily a regret, it all falls back on me, kind of similar to what Will said. I just wish I would have worked possibly a little bit harder, because in all honesty, in hindsight, I was a pro.
Yeah.
I just watch guys I work out with and who I train now. If I had someone like myself who was just on me consistently, working on certain things, because by the time I was a senior, I was a decent point guard. I was a decent guard, and I see all these guys going overseas and making money and doing well.
Yeah.
I had the ability possibly to play at the next level.
If we were playing in this environment,
Yeah,
I think a ton of us would have.
Yeah.
But just putting that extra work in.
Overseas.
Because we
opportunity
but we
the
didn't
same.
go to the next level working. Like, my Philly guys was just in the gym all the time, always working on stuff. We had good balance.
Yeah.
But I guess that's why we're the men we are now. But, I just think if we were just in there consistently, all the time working on certain drills and I was a decent ball handler, but I wasn't a great ball handler.
I
So
agree
certain
with you,
things,
but again, we changed the environment, right?
No question, no question.
So again, if we had came to Manhattan 3 or 4 years after what we had done, their attention's different.
Yeah.
The name means something now, so guys can go overseas because they were part of a winning program.
Right.
It wasn't a winning program before then, so you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We had to struggle or sacrifice or take an L so that the guys that came after us could have
And
an
these guys,
opportunity.
a lot of them,
and a lot of them have done that. So
Like Jay-Z said, I had to sell drugs so you didn't have to.
so you don't have to.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So yeah, it was one of those deals. Yeah. So man. Hey, last question I have for you guys. Well, I got a couple more. But how was your transition journey from successful student athletes in which you guys were to your careers? Like, how was that transition journey? Can you guys talk to us a little bit about that? Again, was that difficult? Was that struggle? Was it made easier because you guys were good in athletics and it transitioned to what you do now in your careers? How was that transitional journey for you guys?
I'll stay with the thing.
Yeah, it's kind of like a transition to manhood or adulthood, for you guys. So how was that for you guys?
Well, again, I think I put myself in a position where I had to grow up a lot sooner than I probably wanted to. There were a lot of difficulties and challenges, just personally, like I say, having a son and family relationship. But work-wise, I think competing on any level prepares you and teaches you things in terms of how to deal with people and how to interact, how to sacrifice or humble yourself for the betterment of the team or the organization.
Right.
Obviously, I didn't hit the ground and know exactly what I wanted to do after college, so you migrate a little bit. But in terms of doing what I do now, it's sort of the same competitiveness. It's friendly competition. Like, I do financial services, so retirement planning, insurance, and investments, and I have other guys that I work with where we compete similarly, but in a positive way. So I think it's prepared us well. I think Manhattan College in general prepares you well for life after that school, and that's the same thing with St. Joe's. So again, we're blessed. We're fortunate. We made fairly good decisions. We got a lot out of the school. Like, I remember in my St. Joe's yearbook, I basically put that I used basketball to get a scholarship so where I could go to school for free, because I probably wouldn't have had that opportunity otherwise. But now I'm going to use that to get to the next thing. You know what I'm saying? So again, transition. I was fortunate enough to have somebody steer me towards dribbling a ball, where that turned into a free education, to where it now turns into a career and life that I have with my family. So that's a beautiful transition for me. Again, while it was difficult, I wouldn't change it for the world.
Great.
No, it's worked out very well for me. Like Kerry said, blessed, fortunate to be in Manhattan, where it was a good situation. Coming off winning a championship, I use that as a springboard. All the skills that you learn in basketball, I was able to transfer them into life skills competitively. I was a communications major in Manhattan. I'm a public speaker now, motivator, trainer, actor. What else we were playing in Manhattan? Trainer.
Your Uncle Smoothie, you still in with the Jaspers. You ain't never left,
the
man.
voice of the Jaspers.
So I've been fortunate to use a lot of the different things that were there for me in Manhattan to go into a transition to my life skills and being able to do a solid job to support my family.
And I believe no matter what it is, again, whether it's positive or negative, you know, it's 10% what happens to you, 90% on your response. So even if something bad happens, you can still find something positive in it. And that's something that I've learned from, you know, Charlie Dubra, God rest the dead, and Smooth. Those are, I tell everyone, those are two of the most positive people I've ever met in my life.
Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely.
You know,
Yeah,
and if you can do that, no matter what your situation is, your transition is going to be a good one.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Hey, final last question for you guys. So we played in the era of the 90s, right? You know, we 90s cats. Do you guys think now, could you play in this era? Your game. Could you play in this era? Could you compete in this era, basketball-wise?
Wills can go first.
Wills, you want to take that? Could you compete?
I think I could have played then, and it would be a hell of a lot easier.
Absolutely.
A hell of a lot easier now. I love it. I don't like watching it. I wish I could play in it. Does that make sense?
That makes sense. I hear you.
You know, because there's a lot of things fundamentally that they don't do anymore that we grew up seeing. The fundamentals.
Yeah.
It's either a three-point shot or a fast break dunk.
Yep.
There's no in-between mid-range game.
Mid-range game.
But again, having that skill set, I would exploit that tremendously right now and still be able to, you know, shoot long range. But I love the fact that the pace is faster. Like, that would have fit me tremendously.
Yeah.
You know, getting out on the break or filling the lane.
No 17s involved.
Yeah, wouldn't have been no 17s. You know, but again, just in certain situations. So there's certain teams that I think I could have played well with.
Yeah.
Or certain players that I think I could have played well with.
Okay.
Yeah.
How about you, Smooth? You can
No question. My game is fit for this time. If you take a look at some of the highlights that I put up now,
The highlights I'm still sharing.
They should be going for now. If you remember, I think in 1992 championship, I get a steal.
Oh, yes.
In transition.
Oh, yes.
It's a 4-on-1
Pull up for
transition.
three.
I pull up for three.
You pull up for three.
All three of my boys are running looking
I know.
for me.
You fast forward to the 2000s on that one. Yep.
I belong in this era. My parents had me too early, man. We could be rich. We could be rich.
Know what you know,
Leo,
right?
we could be rich right now.
Man.
Oh.
Nah, I'm with you guys.
I came
on
too
that.
fast.
Yeah,
Too
man.
fast.
Know what you know, competing in this era. You know, what happened? What did you say?
No, I'm not going to repeat it.
Wait a second.
Wills is tricky.
No, I gotta watch it, man. We might have to edit that out. I don't know what he said, but no.
No, he said it. I caught it. He said it. I caught it.
Me, I don't know. Maybe a little different. I don't know. Maybe I could have competed. I don't know, man. Who knows? But
No
I wish I
question.
was in this era.
Big Don in the building.
Yup, it's more free era, and you know, when you can play, though. That's the bottom line. So yeah, man. I wish we had Keith Bullock here, man.
Big
You know,
boy
shout out to
didn't make
Keith Bullock
And
you know,
Crazy Eddie and
Crazy
Big E.
and Eric
Big
Godwin.
E.
Yup. 2/3 of 2/5 of the class of 1993, and
The
again,
class.
You know, the class.
The entire class
Yes.
should have went into the Hall of Fame first.
Let's talk
I'm not
Hall of
going to
Fame.
talk about
Okay, that's
it.
important.
Y'all want to talk about it?
Yes, let's talk Hall of
Oh,
Fame.
God.
Now, I just recently
Disrespectful.
went, and in all honesty, and I think I may have shared this with you, Russ, I always thought people looked at Kerry and I as a package. So if you're going to put me in, I think we could have gone in together. Because I would say that we've probably, in my opinion, sacrificed the most.
Yeah, like you said.
And when you put our stats or whatever we've done put together, that's legitimately a Hall of Fame. Now, I think one of the reasons why I was inducted is because of my post-basketball, being the voice of the Jaspers, just being around, all that probably helped out. But there's no question this man to my right belongs in the Hall of Fame, the entire class from what we brought. That's my personal opinion.
And I feel that Wilson's gonna get in, Carrie Edwards is gonna get
Eddie's
in,
right.
and I think your class is gonna get in. I think it's
But
gonna.
again, the
But
class should
yeah.
have gone in first. There is nothing else
Yeah.
without that class. in
Well,
my
just the
opinion.
breakdown
That's
of
why
how
we're
it works,
celebrating
someone
that
has
today.
to nominate the class. That's
Yeah,
number one.
it's a
I don't
process.
think that's
Who's on the committee? Somebody needs to be drug
They
tested.
nominated-
You like that? You
How
want that class?
do these conversations come
Now,
up?
when the
How does
team
Fran
went-
go in before Steve Lapis?
Well, it's a lot of politics. that
I don't want to
goes
hear all
in.
that, man.
But they're both in.
They're both in.
They're both
Disrespectful.
So, but we need to have that class of '93 in, and again, we talk about what I'm trying to bring forward to everybody is that class
probably
changed
need
it.
to change that, Russ, because actually Eddie Kane graduated in '94 and he stayed the extra year.
Yeah, 'cause
maybe
he was
the
hurt.
incoming class of '89.
Right, that's what it has to be, the incoming
Okay.
class.
Incoming
the
class.
freshman class.
Okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
not the graduating class, the freshman class.
Okay.
Incoming
Okay.
class
Fair
of
enough.
'89.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So yeah, you guys are gonna get in individually, and you guys are gonna get in the class. I see
Makes
it.
me individual thing makes me no difference, but
Right.
the class.
The class, yeah.
Again,
And what
we
talking
changed the
about today.
culture.
Change the culture.
We changed the culture of
Yeah.
Manhattan College, and there's no refuting that.
Yeah.
So how does anyone after post that class go in before that class? I don't understand how they had that conversation.
Maybe you should be on the committee, Wolf. Maybe Wolf should be on the committee.
Interesting.
You know what I mean? If you're looking out there, Manhattan College committee members,
Don't-
you got a member right here.
Don't
Wilson
send me
Tough.
that invite.
Now you have to be a part of things. Well, she got to come
Yeah.
to the events,
Yeah,
man.
we're gonna get him. We got him here today.
That's
a
a
snow.
I go for my people. I
That's
would have
a
been
good
there for yours. I don't remember what happened, but Lap went in. I was there.
You wasn't
I
there
was
for
supposed to be
mine. What the hell's
Keith.
going on?
I don't even. Okay, so let me tell you my issue with just that in general.
What, me going
No,
in?
just the Hall of Fame induction. Hall of Fame induction.
Russ going in?
The Hall of Fame induction.
You got some issues with
Wait,
that? You
no,
want
no,
to share
man.
on transition?
Nah, nah, we gotta turn the cameras off, man.
Hall of Fame induction. Because
You
this
got
happens at St. Joe's too. It's a money grab. It's a fundraiser.
No question about it.
So the people going into the Hall of Fame should not have to buy tickets. They shouldn't, like for their family to be there. They shouldn't have to spend $100 or whatever it is.
Once again, you're on the money.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Good
just
point.
me being who I am, I can't personally. I can't contribute to that. I can't condone that.
Right.
They should give you at least a table or two. Or if you got 50 people coming, like your people should be able to come and celebrate you getting in
Getting in.
without having to have this cost hanging over their heads.
Yeah.
So that's my whole thing about, and not just Manhattan, but any of these
Sure.
Hall of Fame
Yeah,
inductions,
that's how it works across the board. Yeah.
So again, I apologize for not being there, but I have some issues with the organization Manhattan College. And again, that's just my personal things that I have to deal with, but I've let that impact other things that it shouldn't, and I apologize.
That's fair enough. That's fair enough, man. No,
Well, considering Eddie and Keith aren't here,
Yeah.
I would love to kind of just discuss both of those guys.
sure.
Really quick.
Can we do that? Yes,
Again,
absolutely.
we talked about Eddie. Eddie's my roommate. And
Keith is mine.
Sweet.
We share the
We
suite.
stayed in
yeah.
the same
Right. Yep.
suite all
Same
together.
sweet for you guys. Uh-huh.
Now, this is my personal
Funny
opinion
stuff.
once again.
What's your personal opinion?
In the class, pound for pound, Eddie might be the best out of all five of us. On both ends of the floor, consistent, aggressive, giving you 100% every game. Would you dispute that?
I don't even.
Both ends of the
I don't
floor.
think it's a debate. I can understand it because 6'5", 6'6",
Yeah.
strong, athletic, could shoot, could guard
Guard
every
everybody.
position. Like
Yep.
I did the same thing, but he has a 2-3 inch height
Yeah.
advantage.
Yeah.
Right.
And weight too. Yeah.
Weight. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So, and again, I know what he did at St. Paul as well.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Eddie's a monster.
Monster.
He's a monster. So, and
And he brought it every game.
to be
Every game,
honest,
no
right
doubt.
out of high school, I don't think Steve Lapis would argue. He would have had Keith ranked third because Keith is only 6'6".
Right.
Good question.
Keith is only 6'6".
That's the
I was
question.
gonna ask you guys, how do you guys think you in Coach Lapis' eyes?
Keith-
How do you guys think you were ranked out of those five people
That's
coming
a
in?
tough
I'm
one.
How was
telling
what was
you-
the pecking order
Lapis'
there?
ranking or our ranking?
Well, let's go with
telling you-
Lapis. Let's go with Lap first.
I'm gonna tell you
Like,
this.
who was the number one recruit?
Me.
Yeah.
It's not even a debate. I know
Yeah,
that.
there's no debate.
I know that.
Okay.
So I was the whatever popular
He's the
recruit.
prized possession.
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
coming from the big program, ranked in the country, all of that, like all the state championships. I'm not saying that for my
Right.
thing,
It's the
but
truth.
that's the
That's
truth.
just facts. We call
right?
it facts. Facts.
Again, Eddie might be the monster, but the most athletic in terms of doing whatever's necessary on the court.
Yeah.
Like, again, he knew if Eddie doesn't get a certain number of shots, Eddie might not play defense.
Right.
Right?
Right.
I'm gonna play defense regardless.
Right.
Like I guarded Lionel Simmons, Malik Sealy, I guarded whoever the coach told me to go, whether I was getting the ball or not.
Right. Right.
You understand? But that's so I know based on what was going on Connecticut, and Keith was a monster. He went head to head with Morris Sadler, my dude from St. Joe's that went to Providence with Rick Pitino. And they would have like 30 and 15 apiece. They would have 45 and 20. Like they had monster games.
Right.
But you couldn't envision Keith coming to Manhattan and doing what he did in the post.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He was like a tweener. You didn't know if he was going to move him out this way. But when we got there and you put him on the block and he was as effective as he was, yeah, he kind of took the bull by the horns and ran with it. Yeah. Literally the bull by the horns.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, where for us on the perimeter and with the other guys that were there, you know, we had to get adjusted to that. Or I know I did. I had to get adjusted to that. But I know coming out of school, I would easily say it was Kerry Keith.
Okay, Kerry Keith.
I wouldn't.
Who then? Kerry.
I'm talking about Connecticut. I played against each other.
But let's talk about the pecking order, like in Coach Lapis' eyes. So you saying Kerry Wilson, Kerry Edwards, Keith Bullock?
So again, the thing that Lapis was selling was the backcourt. Yeah. He was selling Chris and Kerry to everybody. Like he literally told people like in 4 years this is gonna be the all-MAC backcourt.
Yeah. All right, stay right there because I'm gonna give you a really good one, Wilson. If you remember this story. Okay. Remember we played at Texas. I think Kendall put it up there a moment ago. And Travis Mays,
Lance, and Joey
Wright.
Yeah, oh my God. One of the worst L's we ever took.
Yes.
They went bananas.
One of the worst L's we ever took.
From
one of the worst second half L's.
Right, I was going to say.
First half, we came strong. We down 12 at halftime. Lost by 50.
Yep.
So we come back to Manhattan. Yeah. We would always have these meetings, like you just said. You and us three.
Okay.
Coach Lapis, Kerry, and myself.
Okay.
Sitting there talking about how things are going to be.
Right.
And me and Wills basically said, those guys will be
They pros.
Right.
Yeah.
But Lap said,
in
4 years, you guys will be doing the same thing to young guys as they did to you all.
Yeah.
But I just remember Lance Blanks and Mays' shoulders like this.
Yes.
And these guys would square up and make
everything
from downtown.
40.
But Lap said, this is what I envision you guys being. So that goes back to him selling the backcourt. Yeah. And I also remember in the tournament in maybe 91, our freshman or sophomore year, was someone heckling Lap.
Yes.
Lapis, you said these guys, this is the team of the 90s. What you talking about? And Lap was like, wait till my boys turn the corner. He turned to somebody in the stands, said, wait till my boys turn the corner. Wow. So those little things I would always remember. And again, that's why when 93 came around, like, I expect us to get
better. And again, I don't say that in any way as a knock, because again, Kerry's probably, again, like Chris said, the monster out of the group.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because I just started watching this documentary, but it's like trying to figure out who was the best in Wu-Tang. Mm-hmm. It's just your preference or
did you see that doc?
I just started watching it.
Oh, you got to see that. Great doc.
So, everybody's going to have a preference. Yeah. In a certain situation, it'll be this guy. In another situation, it'll be this guy. Mm-hmm. But that's how thorough we were.
Yeah.
Again, I don't understand how the class, the entire class, is not in the Hall of Fame. Man.
Class and individual.
Come on, man. That's insane.
Kerry Wilson, Kerry Edwards, you got. They have
RZA, whole dirty bastard.
So answer the question.
Ray Cool, Method
How
Man.
does Lap rank them, and how do you rank the 5?
Yep. Because apparently, I think in your
maybe I can
answer that for you. So apparently,
coming in.
You said yourself, Kerry Edwards, Keith Bullock,
coming in, and again, so the only reason I would rank it this way is because I hadn't seen Chris play.
Okay, Lap's ranking and then your ranking.
I just knew we had a 6'4", 6'5" point guard, and I'm like, are you crazy?
Yeah.
Like you gonna give me a 6'4", 6'5" point guard?
Right.
So I knew I was probably the guy that he went after the hardest. Mm-hmm. I knew what Kerry was doing at St. Paul, so even though he wasn't playing the same competition, and I viewed Keith differently because I rated him up against Mar.
Right. Gotcha.
So I would have probably had it coming in as me, Kerry, Keith, Chris, and E was didn't know nothing about it until we got there.
Correct.
He just said we got a 6'10" guy from Texas. Mm-hmm. That probably would have been my ranking, or what I think Lapis's ranking would have been coming in.
The same.
Yeah, the same.
Okay.
Going out, I think it would have been Keith, Kerry, me, Chris, 3A, 3B, whatever, and then E. E didn't really get an opportunity, unfortunately, because I think E
Things
has
changed.
skill.
Things changed.
But you know, with everybody that we had coming in,
numbers game.
yeah, just the opportunity just wasn't there for him to get on the court and try and do anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that would have been my ranking as well as Lapis's, in my opinion.
Cool. Okay. What about yourself, Smooth? How you rank?
I think coming in, definitely Wilson was number one. I think Big Bull was 2.
Okay.
I think Eddie 3, me 4, and then E5 because you didn't know.
You think that was Lapis's or yours?
I think that was Lapis's.
No, it's
I'm
not.
gonna say the reason why I thought that way. Obviously, we knew you were number one. That's consensus. I just remember when Keith comes in, he was so happy and ecstatic. Like if I remember, they were like saying "Champagne Keith" or something along those lines. I know Eddie and Keith were close, but I just think when you got that nice big that he was looking to get to compliment it, that's just the way I thought. I could be wrong.
6'4", 6'5" point guard in the MAC conference. It's like, come on, man.
Yeah,
I chopped it up with Lap.
Right.
So
That's what I think. That's what I think.
I know,
Now,
but
that's what I think
you-
Lap thinks.
Nah.
No, I'm going to go to me now.
Okay.
What do you think?
That's what I think Lap was
Really
thinking.
had yourself,
yeah.
I think Lap was thinking you,
Yeah.
Big Bull, Eddie, myself, and then Biggie.
Okay.
Now, me personally, coming in,
Yeah.
Right.
I said you, myself, Eddie, Keith, and because again, I'm looking.
Disclaimer
I'm looking
though, is this
perimeter.
before we all played together?
Yeah, coming in.
Coming in, okay.
yeah,
Then we
yeah,
Coming in,
that's a
coming in,
disclaimer.
coming
Then
in,
once
right.
we saw each other once,
Yeah,
it's like,
reevaluation.
all right, when my
I see I got
first
some horses.
evaluation,
Yeah,
that's
I got some
that was my
horses.
first evaluation. Like, I love my dude right here. I like me. I'm gonna add my other perimeter cat because I'm a perimeter guy.
Yeah.
I like my horse down low, and then I like my other big.
But like I said, though, so you confirming what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's nobody that could have seen a 6'5", 6'6" guy
Yeah.
being that impactful. You didn't envision
But he's a
that.
legit big too. And in the MAC, you want guard heavy.
But
Because
yeah.
you're thinking LaSalle.
But
you
again,
gotta
think
be
about
with
the
those
bigs
guys.
that was in the MAC when we
Yeah.
came in. Like, there
Yeah.
was legit 6'8", 6'9", 6'10" cats.
Yeah.
Like, you had Sean Green was bigger than Bull.
Yeah. Yup, Sean.
But he's
And
a
he
guard.
played- but just,
Yeah.
So there's no way you saw Keith being what he became.
Right, what he became.
That's
But
why
he was
he
a
got
horse.
Rookie of the Year,
He
because
was a
he
horse.
shocked everybody. Once he stepped out there and he threw the bull on him.
Yeah.
He
You
was
know what I'm
a horse.
saying? But
And
when you
MVP
looked
of the
at it and
MAC
watched
championship,
it,
right, too. Yeah.
you was like, I got again, I'm the short, like you got 6'2", you got 6'4", 6'5", and you got 6'6" Eddie. Like, that's the perimeter of the MAC future.
Yeah. Right.
There's no way you would have thought, looking at that, I'm feeding the post.
Yeah. Yup.
Like, honestly, coming in, you wouldn't have thought that. But
Yeah.
then when, like you say, when the game started and you threw it up and Big Bull put 25
That
on you,
was it, yeah.
okay, let me reevaluate the game plan. We got to go inside out first.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, because he made it known that.
Yeah,
So
I'm here.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
All right, so get right into Keith then, because we didn't really talk too much about Keith.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
special.
I mean, Keith was that special guy. Keith was that guy who, again, like you said, Wills, I think he probably couldn't envision the impact that he had on this program. I mean, Keith left as the all-time leading scorer of the school's history.
Yeah,
You know, a
that's
guy
major.
who came in from the jump. I mean,
And that's a so-based game you're playing at.
yeah, he's a guy who really came in and took spots. I mean, my boy who I came in with Dave Altaver. I mean,
7 foot.
as soon as Keith stepped on campus, that was his spot. He just claimed that. That was
Nothing
it
with him.
from day one.
Yeah.
And he's a guy who, again, kind of the worst practice player I've ever seen. But when the lights came on, this guy was a different.
This was pretty bad at practice. Smooth was pretty bad at
Okay,
practice,
so the second
man.
worst, I guess, in the most evaluations. But
I love him, man.
But I mean, Big Bull did things, man. I mean, and like Big Bull, and you guys can contest it. He was like Big Bull was like a star, but you wouldn't know it.
Humble.
You would one of the humblest guys you ever see. You would never know this guy.
Humble and happy.
Humble and happy. Always smiling, laughing. I
Give
wish
him
you was
some
here.
sweets, he'll be happy.
Give him some
Yeah.
sweets and
Yeah.
treat you good.
Humble
But
and happy, man.
he's the guy that changed it.
Once he put that mouthpiece in, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was time to go. Carrie Edwards, same deal. We talk about Carrie. So That's gonna happen, Wolves. Again, those things are gonna happen about the Hall of Fame. Just be patient.
The class, man.
Yeah, that class.
Just respect the class. Yeah, I don't care about nothing else. Respect the class.
Yeah, that class will.
Check it out. With Keith, I always saw Keith as a gamer.
Yeah. Yes.
Well, entire class gamers.
All of us.
All of us.
Because I always expected everybody to step up. Really quickly, Kerry, before I finish up with Keith. I knew when these guys played in Connecticut that it was a wrap. Especially this dude here.
Yeah.
Always played well in Connecticut.
Oh yeah,
Fairfield. If I played anybody I knew. If I played anybody I knew.
When we went to Fairfield, this guy was playing like
Did
Benny
he have
Hill.
He had a reverse. He had a reverse dunk. I remember he had a reverse dunk.
If anybody ever remember watching Benny Hill, Benny Hill does things in fast motion.
Like a cartoon character.
This guy was going bananas at Fairfield. I think junior year, he was making every shot,
dunking,
nice
everything.
Reverse, sat on the rim.
Yeah, I'm in here.
This guy was going bananas.
Yes, so again.
I love Wills. Here's my last on this. When Wills comes back to the room,
What Will say?
Wills just is chilling. Like, what do you expect out of me, man? You know I'm gonna do that when I get home.
Come on, man. I can't go back home and have people talking
I
about me.
love playing at Connecticut.
I need
Connecticut
to
with these
explain
dudes.
that though. Like, again, this is stuff I probably should have
It's
talked
deeper.
about then. It's deeper than
Yes.
that. So now, our freshman year, the first time we come back to Connecticut to play Fairfield.
Right.
It's the first time my entire family comes to see me play.
Okay.
Right? So I got my great grandmother, my grandmother, my mom, my son, my soon-to-be wife, cousins, nieces, like it's everybody.
Right.
And the girls had played before us.
Okay.
So I'm sitting under the basket and we watching the girls play, and Lapis comes over to me and he's talking to me about the game. And I'm telling him how nervous I am because this is my first time. I don't tell him it's my first time, but I'm worried about how I'm going to play in front of my family.
Right.
And again, that comes from when I was a kid. I didn't want my mother and father to come to my games because I didn't want them to see me mess up. Right? I'm perfectionist, so I try to be a perfectionist.
Sure.
Right? And my father dies and doesn't really get a chance to see me play. So now I got that regret. Right? This is the first time that my family is coming to see me play. So I'm stressing about it. And Lapis literally, he was like, yo, why are you worried about that? You need to be worried about Kevin George or whoever we playing. I'm like, what the mean?
Right.
And again, I had a horrible game. Like I think I picked up like 3 quick fouls. And I came out of the locker room and I had to see my family and I didn't perform well. And like I broke down crying. Like I was hurt. So that's why anytime I went back, I had a different mentality. Aside from playing, against my boy Johnny Jones, or like we played Sienna, Doremus, any of the guys that I knew, like it was just different.
Right.
But that's why the Fairfield thing meant so much.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like I had to redeem myself.
And it showed. I mean,
that's maybe one of my favorite ones.
Yeah,
man.
absolutely. I remember the reverse dunk. He pointed to his crew.
He sat on the rim on that
one.
But I can empathize with you on not wanting to play poorly in front of your family and friends. I never played well in Philly.
No.
Never played well in Philly. And again, I would put a lot of added pressure on me. I remember, I think Scrap was on here for a minute.
Yes, he was. Okay. We got
Lenny Cap.
Yeah.
What's going on, Lenny?
Yes. I remember we played.
Hey, man, check out my son's highlight tape, Lenny.
JIT. Man, oh, man.
We played Drexel. Now, again, it was tough enough. We had a tough time with the South. So most people's like, all right, we're probably not going to beat the South.
Whatever, man.
Yeah.
But Drexel was kind of like a gimme for us.
That's what you thought, because I remember you saying that. I remember you saying that.
Now, listen to that, because there's behind the scenes stuff. So all my boys back in Philly are like, yo, they gonna kill Drexel. Chris, and again, they're starting to get to know us.
Right.
And after we lost to Drexel, Scrap let me have it. He was like, yo, I can get 5 cats off the street and beat Drexel, man. How y'all lose to Drexel? And I was so disappointed. We stayed in a really nice hotel, if y'all remember. My man Tom O'Doon had hooked us up lovely. And I remember everybody coming down to the hotel. And I was like, man, I can't get over this hump in my own town. I never won a game in Philly.
Really?
Nah.
That's right. Yeah.
No, we never won.
Yeah, we never did. Yeah.
We could beat LaSalle early on.
We
Obviously.
beat Drexel.
We couldn't do. I thought Lap was trying to throw me a gimme.
Yeah.
And we couldn't get Drexel, but they was ready to
went
rock.
back any other time.
We didn't go back. We never went
I
back.
think we had. Yeah.
We didn't go back.
We didn't play the same.
But
game.
I remember. I remember we went there when Lionel hit his 3,000 point.
Oh,
And
we weren't
rapping.
They had the the train and all of that nonsense.
We had to go back to the locker room right for the celebration.
You know we weren't winning that one.
No,
not that game, but
Yeah.
we didn't play nobody else in Philly.
Nah, that was it. No, that was
Oh
it.
man, I'm
And we
sorry,
got
Smooth.
Gina, Soma
was a
Jackson,
beast. You talk
One of
about
the all-time
great.
great Lady Jaspers.
Absolutely.
And you
She
talk
could
about
probably still go right now. So
Gina
back to the
was
basket.
tremendous right now.
Yeah,
I think
she
she
is.
still can go.
Yeah, she probably can.
She could probably give you 25 and 10.
Easily, yeah. WNBA.
But the crazy thing again, the family extended beyond our team. Like the Lady Jays, like everybody was tight and supportive.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
when we got there, nobody came to our games. It was like the Lady Jays at our game, and we would go to their games.
Well, I
You know
share
what
a
I'm
story.
saying?
Now, Lady Jays were nice when we got
Lady
there.
Jays were better.
Yeah.
The Lady Jays were better when we got there.
Now, when I started Manhattan College before you guys even got here, I'm part of the one bleacher.
Oh,
Hold up.
They just had one bleacher for family and friends, and that was it.
I got it. I'm sorry, I got it.
What you guys said?
I'm telling you, man. Y'all still have rubber floors if it wasn't for me. Y'all don't have no idea how much stuff I changed. The uniforms would still be tight. It wouldn't be no school.
well, like going back to the tight ones now, to the short
Well,
shorts.
it's different now. It's cool now. It wasn't cool back then. Remember, we went to Texas. They was like, y'all don't even got rip aways. We didn't even have tear off stat.
Are you responsible for the tights also?
Yes.
Because
The
I
long
love
shorts and the
tights.
tights.
Tights was nice, but the
And
Jasper,
again,
I saw that. Yes.
I'm the reason the team actors had the black uniform because I used to argue with Lap Audit like how we can't change the color of the uniform, man. Like the conversations that me and that dude used to have.
Understandable.
I'm the reason we had more than $7 a day meal money. Any of y'all that got more than $7 a day meal money should thank me.
And this is the reason why I celebrate this 93 team. Class of 93.
He's my man.
You know, this is the class that changed it all. Changed the fortunes of Manhattan College for the better.
Do you know what did it? Bro, I wish he was on right now so he could comment. Me and Lap.
All right.
Go to his office. And this is when UNLV had Larry Johnson and Greg Anthony and Stacey Augman and Butler and all of them.
Right.
And we going back and forth about it. He told me the NCAA, Anderson Hunt and all of that. And I looked at him after like 45 minutes. I said, Coach, I said, you really gonna tell me Jerry Tarkanian is giving Larry Johnson and Stacey Augman $7 a day? And he said, hold up, let me make a call. And he called Bob Burns and they had to leave the office and they had a conversation or whatever.
Wow.
Next thing you know, I think it was like $20 originally.
So you're responsible for that.
I'm telling you no lie. I'm telling you no lie.
Money was on the money.
You can't tell me this dude was giving Larry Johnson and Stacey Augman $7 a day.
I'm guessing
to
they
go
were
on the
getting a
road.
little bit more.
They got a lot more change than that.
On the
Leave it on the
road.
table, man. Yeah, but no.
Stop playing, man.
And that's why we here, man, celebrating that class of 93.
But anyway, so the one bleacher.
Yes, I'm from the era of the one bleacher.
Wow.
Just one bleacher was pulled out of Dreddy, and that was for family and friends.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember, like, when the ball gets thrown out of bounds,
Yeah,
and they
when
go,
they chase it.
yeah, the referees had to go chase it. You know what I mean? I'm part of that era, so it's good to see, you know, guys like you guys come in and change the culture, just change
Put it on
everything.
the map, man. We put Manhattan on the map.
Man. So yeah, that's why I want to, you know, have you guys on.
Thank
and
God
really
for Big
celebrate.
Ricky Bullock.
Absolutely, yeah.
Carrie Edwards.
Yeah, man. So, hey, so guys, if we were able to make you laugh, smile, or think during this broadcast, my good friends, you have accomplished something major today. So celebrate your victories. This is a victory for me because I'm getting a chance to have my Jasper brothers, you know, here. We celebrating that 93 class. We celebrating people who have changed the dynamics of a culture, of a basketball culture at Manhattan College, the place where we're from. You know what I mean? I just want to give these guys in that class their flowers so they can smell them now. You know what I mean? And they're going to smell those roses when they get that class of 93 in the Hall of Fame, when my man Kyrie was going to be in there by himself with there in the Hall of Fame with Kyrie Edwards as well. So
Probably won't even show up if it's just me.
No,
If it's not the team, I'm not going.
I'm going to come pick you up.
I will say this though.
What's up?
I gotta thank y'all, man, because I didn't want to do this originally, and right now I'm glad I did.
Oh,
I wasn't gonna get on Transition Tuesdays, people, and I'm glad I did, man.
Well, I
So
told
big
you
ups
you
to
would
Russ
enjoy
Williams
yourself.
and
Yes, sir.
Smooth.
Yeah.
Yo, listen, y'all have been right more than y'all have been wrong, man, so I appreciate y'all.
Shout out to the lefty backcourt. Are we the first lefty backcourt?
I think
Probably
so.
the one and only.
Probably, yeah.
Probably the one and only.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so shout out to that. So, yeah, guys, I want to thank you guys for coming on today. Transition Tuesdays, my brothers, you know what I mean, having this great conversation. We're going to continue to have some eats and some drinks and have some fun, you know what I mean, waiting for people. But, you know,
Time
I'm
for the libations.
Yeah, there you go. So I'm happy, you know.
Transition
Ice water and
Tuesdays.
lemon.
Yes, and let me give a toast. Let's give a toast.
Transition Tuesdays.
This is the toast.
Yes,
to
sir.
the class of 93, man. Toast.
Yeah.
To the Jaspers. To the
Incoming
Jaspers.
class 89.
That's right. Incoming class 89. That's
Yeah.
good. Cool.
I like that better.
Yes. So as we say in parting, ladies and gentlemen out there on my transition army, happy transitioning. We'll talk to you soon. Take care, everybody.